What do I mean when I say that some souls are trapped on Earth? Soul is evolving, right? What you are a soul in a human body going through the process of reincarnation. You have a source consciousness, which is one entity, one mind, that divides itself into gazillions of these little units of consciousness, and these units of consciousness evolve. Similar process is reflected in the stages of evolution of the soul. So when we are entering fourth density, which is exactly now, you are presented with a choice how you want to continue your evolution further. They shift polarity, they become service to self beings, and they join races and worlds and things like that that are in service to self. The system can be controlled through materialism, through consumerism, through capitalism, through the one-eye clan, Illuminati puppets. Hey, this is Mike Sula from TruthTheory.com, and welcome to another episode of True Spirituality. So True Spirituality is my series where I talk about metaphysics, esoteric ideas and teachings, mysticism, shamanism, consciousness, psychedelic spirituality, a little bit of everything. So if you like these types of topics, welcome. Please subscribe and check out previous episodes as well, because this is episode 70 something already. So quick announcement before we can start. My online course called Exit the Matrix is live now. You can check it out at TruthTheory.com/academy. This is an online course with over 30 modules, guided meditation practice, some other exercises, and it's a personal development course that helps you to transform your life, helps you to figure out what is blocking you in your life from reaching your goals, reaching your full potential. It focuses on many different areas, from things like relationships to career. So check it out at TruthTheory.com/academy. So I decided to offer it at half price now for the first 50 people who are gonna take the offer. All you have to do is to use the coupon code Black Friday together at checkout, and you get 50% off, so you can get the whole course for as little as $60. And there is a second option with 4 weeks of live calls, and this is also half price. So all you have to do is use the coupon code Black Friday together at checkout, and you get access to the course. But keep in mind that this is only for the first 50 people. So if you are interested, hurry up. Anyway, enough of marketing. Let's talk about the topic. So, what do I mean when I say that some souls are trapped on Earth? What does it mean? Sounds scary, maybe, but it is a little bit scary. So let's start from the beginning. Soul is evolving, right? What you are a soul in a human body going through the process of reincarnation, and you live many lifetimes, and this process is a process of evolution. So you have a source consciousness, which is one entity, one mind, that divides itself into gazillions of these little units of consciousness, and these units of consciousness evolve and go through the process of evolution through different densities or dimensions. You can think about it as dimensions, but there are different levels of consciousness until they merge back to itself, to the source consciousness. And now what happens is that we are at the level where we are entering fourth level of evolution. And this is really important, because same way like when you go through stages in your life. So let's say if you are a child, you are probably not capable of making great decisions, right? Until you're gonna become an adult. When you become an adult, you can make conscious decisions, right? Before that, you might not necessarily make rational, conscious decisions. So similar process is reflected in the stages of evolution of the soul. So when we are entering fourth density, which is exactly now, you are presented with a choice how you want to continue your evolution further into fifth density, etc., sixth density and higher. In a way, it's like entering adulthood in terms of evolution of the soul. So you have a choice if you want to become a service to self being or service to others being. This is the thing. So the reason why we don't remember past lives at this level is because the system is designed so you can have an organic choice. If you would understand how to play the game, there is no fun, right? You would know what to choose, how to behave. So we don't remember anything here, most of us, because you wanna be able to make an organic choice how you want to progress further in your evolution, right? And now this system got hijacked a little bit by the dark side, and what happened is that many people unfortunately polarize themselves as service to self beings, and they either can't evolve or they join the dark side, the negative, if they are very polarized. So let me explain what it means. This knowledge comes from studying many different teachings, but not only that, from my experiences, because I was shown a lot of this stuff, how it works on the higher levels. So let's talk about, for example, the Law of One. I consider it to be a really good series of books. It's a channeled work from the 80s. And in the Law of One, they talk about the harvest. This is like the same thing about what Mayans talk about, the Great Shift, you know, Hopi in the Bible, the righteous ones, and etc. I actually made a whole video explaining the process of ascension in more detail if you want to check it out. But in the Law of One, they say that the harvest, which is now, works like this. If the soul or entity is polarized by actions, thoughts, behaviors, etc., 51% as service to others, right? At least. Then it can evolve higher into fourth, fifth density, etc., and becomes positively polarized entity. So it can incarnate further into the worlds and bodies that are polarized positively, so positive beings, positive races, etc. If the soul is at least 51% or more service to self oriented through actions, behaviors, thoughts, desires, etc., then there is a reset. So at the end of third density, which is now we are entering fourth, if you are at least 51% selfish or service to self or more, once you finish this incarnation, you have to stay at third density and repeat. So that's why I'm saying that a lot of souls are trapped, because until you gonna become polarized at least 51% plus as service to others, you cannot continue the evolution, right? Or the worst case scenario is, this is for entities, people, souls that are very selfish, very service to self, at least 95% plus, they continue evolution into fourth, fifth density, now at the peak, but they shift polarity, they become service to self beings, and they join races and worlds and things like that that are in service to self, which are not very nice groups, to be honest. So this is the whole thing, this is the game. And because this planet is very much influenced by negative groups, which often in the way that, for example, the system can be controlled through materialism, through consumerism, through capitalism, through the one-eye clan, Illuminati puppets that have a lot of influence on the system and really keep the system as a prison and program the masses as well. Because of that, people are to some extent born into a prison system because they think that living in a society where we chase money all the time, buy and destroy resources, etc., is normal, is success even, like the more the better. This is actually the biggest trick, because the more a person decides to do it, the more we polarize ourselves, and that's how you cannot evolve, or you can evolve but join the dark side through the evolution. So this whole system really is a massive trick to enslave souls, because what is promoted as success, or like billionaires, millionaires, or people who have a lot of financial wealth, not always they are actually successful. They are successful only here for 5 minutes, and once they are out of here, they either are stuck or they join their mates in the negative. So remember that whatever it is that you do, is that everyday choices polarize you one way or the other. And unfortunately, it's hard to live in a society where you have to fight to survive, right? Eat, pay your bills, etc. We need to be able to do it. This is the way the system works. But how you do it is important, because the more you take advantage of natural resources, destroying the planet or using other people for your own advantage, the more you polarize yourself as negative. And the more you are polarized, the less you can evolve. So what I'm saying is a trick, because here everything is promoted. The success means more for myself, right? But that's exactly what is not a real success. This is exactly the trick, because it's only success for 5 minutes here. Once you are out of here, you are the least successful out of everyone. So I said this knowledge doesn't only come from studying these things, but I was shown how these things look like on higher levels many times through different methods. And one of the methods that worked for me well, so I had 7 years of doing plant medicine sessions where I could do all sorts of things like tuning into my higher self, seeing reality from different densities, looking into my past lives through the higher self and things like that. A couple of times I was shown levels which it wasn't like a vision or anything like that. I would just jump into a higher fractal of consciousness. So basically it was like, it's very difficult to describe. I think it was either reaching the level of higher self or some kind of level between densities. But from that level, I could see whole of reality. Very powerful experience, very powerful. And I could see how reality is linked to my own behavior, because everything is fractal. So what you are experiencing now, the whole world literally, is somehow connected with our own imbalances. So the more we are in ego, the more we live in a world full of wars and things like that. And from that level, I could see how the timelines are all intertwined with my own behavior and my own choices. Very difficult to imagine this state, because it's not something you can imagine. But if I would like to explain this to someone, what it is like to see that, imagine that you are an ant and you never saw anything else than a life of an ant, and your senses are developed in the way that ants' senses are developed, right? So very limited. And suddenly, for a moment, you become a human, and your senses are now expanded by millions or thousands of times, your consciousness is completely different level, right? You see things ahead, you see different colors, you smell things, you hear things. So your senses are completely different to the senses of an ant, right? So this is the experience I had. The level of consciousness I was at, it was like I could see everything on earth simultaneously, and everything was just like happening in my mind basically. And from that level I could see everything, how the world is a reflection of my own imbalances, right? So the trick, really, the biggest trick, the biggest thing is that you don't find anything outside, you don't try to change anything outside, you try to change yourself. This is the whole thing. Because what you are experiencing is just a reflection of what's happening with your own self and your own choices. So the more you become service to others, the more you work on yourself, the better timeline or reality you start experiencing, the better things around you, right? But because this planet has a lot of parasitical influences, and the way they manifest on the physical plane is through the puppets, one-eye clan, you know who. They try to imprison people through the system, monetary system, and programming, right? Programming is very important, because if you look at celebrities, what do they try to teach people? To be service to self, to focus on materialism, to have lavish lifestyle, ego-based behavior, right? This is all, they get their 5 minutes of fame because they do that, because they promote these things, right? So remember that making money at the bigger scale might mean that you start polarizing yourself as negative, right? So a lot of top entrepreneurs are unfortunately more service to self than service to others, because the rules of the game are designed to polarize people, right? This is the solution. The solution is that you just need to become more service to others than you are service to yourself. Be more altruistic, kind, work on yourself, help others, and then you start experiencing a timeline or version of reality that resonates with who you are. And hopefully you continue your evolution as a soul into even better worlds than this one. So hope this makes sense. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. So thanks for checking another episode of True Spirituality. If this video resonates, please share it with others. Let me know in the comments, give it a like. This helps for other people to find it, to see the content. And follow me on Instagram. It's Mike Sigula on Instagram. Until next time.